Hey, what's happening, fam? So the UE5 preview just came out, and it's late, and I was thinking, why not make a video? So I thought might be interesting because I've been working in UE5 and MetaSounds for a while now. And I know a lot of people are kind of rediscovering MetaSounds because obviously they've evolved since the early access. But I thought it might be fun to actually implement Dorian's Run. Dorian's Run is a queue that I wrote for, I think, when the time synth came out, and I just wrote it as an example of like how to do like vertical slicing and horizontal layering. Horizontal slicing and vertical layering, and stingers and stuff like beat-synchronous stingers and stuff. And so I thought, oh, maybe I wonder if I could just implement this in a MetaSound completely now. Because there's so many more utilities and stuff like that that have come in. So I said, all right, let's try it out. So here I have all of the music from Dorian's Run, and you can actually download this queue if you go back to the live stream when we had the well, actually, I think any live stream where I've used it. So I think I used it again. Oh no, the Quartz live stream Aaron did, so I didn't do that live stream. So Dorian's Run you can download. If you go back to the time synth live stream, you can actually get a link to download it, and you can have it and mess around with it as all you want. But basically, it's got It's got two layers. It's got like a low activity layer and a high activity layer for everything. This is why you see low and high on every piece of sort of element here. And this is the main sort of loop. It's 8 bars long, and that's the high part of the loop. And then we have these. We have a intro. It's just 1 bar, and then sort of like a beat. And then tail, obviously, and then we have an ending, which is very similar. Okay, and then we have got sort of the high version of it. And then these are just like 1 beat accents, and then we've got a long theme that's like a stinger. So I think we could do this. Let's try this out. So first of all, here's my freshly picked MetaSound. I'm going to go to the MetaSound selector, and I'm going to make this a stereo MetaSound. So we've got the output left and right. And then the other thing is I'm actually going to add the one-shot interface. So we'll have an on finished because there is an ending to this, right? So I think the first thing we need to do is set up wave players for my 2 main beds. And we'll just store these as graph variables. So this will be main loop high and main loop low. And then low. So there's low, high, drop it in there. Okay, cool. And stereo mixer. Boop, 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 doop, doop. So now, on play. Let's get both of them on plays. And now when we play, cool. Now it's not a loop. It is in fact an 8-bar phrase. So we listen to it. And then it has a tail, like 2 bars tail. So we will want to preserve the tail and repeat the loop. So this will get interesting. Because what we can do is we could do something where we go like trigger repeat. And then we go BPM. And then we say 1, 8. I think that would do that. Let me just double check here. Let's kill this. Just want to hear this. But I think it's going to cut off our tail, yeah? Because this is 8 bars, 8 whole notes at 90 BPM. Yeah, see there, it cut it off. So, what we will actually want is something more like this, and then counter. Oh no, sorry. Let's do there. This one. So we'll go here and then here. So this is like a little miniature voice manager. So now when we play, it'll be 8 bars. It'll repeat. The first time it will go here and play this. The second time it'll go here and play this. And this will just sort of naturally finish out. So let's double check. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually, I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting these into 2 different MetaSounds. So I think let's focus on the lows because the structure is the same, and then it's just a mix between them. So So I think what now we want is, instead of this, we want to play our intro. So let's get the wave player, another wave player, and let me just get rid of this main loop high, because I'm going to, you'll kind of see I'm just going to do it all for the lows, and then I'll make a preset, and we'll swap it out for the highs, and we'll combine them. I think we can do that. We'll see. We'll see. Actually, instead of variables, let's make these inputs. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So let's make this a graph input. We'll call it the same, basically main loop. We'll just call it main loop. Cool. And then we'll add input, and we'll call it the intro. So now on play, instead of going directly to the main body, we want to play the intro first. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to paste it over here. We're going to go play. And then what I want to do is I want basically a 1 bar delay, right? So, because I know this is like 1 bar long. So let's just put a delay. And then we'll grab our BPM. And we'll just say a whole note. Delay for a whole note. And then kick this off. And then we'll let's get a big stereo mixer. I think main intro, ending, stingers. I think we could go get away with 6. So we'll put, I'm holding control to move these. Do this. Boop, like that. Nice. And then this can just pop on over here. So now let's take a listen. And we should hear, if everything goes right, the intro. And then it will, this will delay for a bar, and then it'll start the main body. Oh, I forgot to set the, because the wave assets, I changed them all around. So let's add this back, because I deleted that other variable, and it was the intro. We'll go with low intro. There we go. Nice. So now we want to be able to call on stop. And actually, now that I think about it, yeah, let's do call on stop. So we basically want to end, and the way that the on stop works, where's the stop? The end. The way that this works is it's got a 1 bar crescendo, and then it's a 4 bar ending, or sorry, 5 bar, so 4 bar ending with an extra bar sustained like ending note, basically, where it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then obviously some tail. So in this case, we actually want the end of this to the on finished to call the on finished one shot. So so let's get a wave player in. We'll bring it down here. We know we need a wave player to play this. let's make an input and call it our end, and then let's drop this in here. Now there's a couple things we could do, all right, because it all comes down to the frequency at which we want to trigger this. So first of all, we'll need a custom input that is going to be our trigger, and this will be end music, something like that. Maybe we should be more specific. We'll call this the main loop wave, and then the intro wave, and then the end wave, something like that. And then maybe this is on stop, something like that. We want to stop the music, but we want to like naturally stop the music, basically. So let's make it a trigger. And then what we want to do is probably, let's see. So first of all, we're going to want to stop this music. But it's probably going to be more like a crossfade or like a fade out, right? So let's get an ADSR, and we'll go with a float value for now. And the attack, the trigger attack will be on play. And we'll set the delay or decay to 0, and the sustain level to 1. And then the release time is going to be our crossfade time. So because what we're going to do is we're going to feed this into the gain value on our fader for the main loop. So at the beginning, this will just go to 1, and then when the ending is triggered, we will, I think we want to have 1 bar delay, so it will be something like this guy. We'll have a 1 bar delay, but it'll be on stop. On stop. And then when the delay is done, it will call this trigger release, and then let's use a fresh one, BPM. And so this will be a quarter note fade. So that's not bad. So let's try that for now. And we'll just try it without the new material coming in. We'll just hear what it sounds like. It should be a 1 bar delay, and then it does a 1/4 note fade. So let's hit play. Now we're in our main body. And then I'll just hit it. And there we go. So there was a bar and then 1/4 note fade out. So the only catch is that we want this to only trigger on the next bar. Alternatively, and this is where it could get interesting, we could seek into up to a bar. But let's try just this plain approach where we just know it has to be synchronous to a bar. So what we need is, let's see. I think the trigger control is the gate. Let's just lay out some of our trigger tools. We've got the control, trigger counter. We've got trigger. Hold on. Toggle. Trigger. Once. I think, you know what I think what we need? Is a modulation on this value here. I think that's what we need. Oh, well, we also have trigger accumulate. This is an interesting one because this will wait for two triggers to happen. But do we have... Ooh, okay. We might be able to use these two together. Interesting. Let me try this out. So what we want is... And then it's just, hold on, triggered when all input triggers have been triggered. Call reset to reset the state or use auto reset. Call reset to reset the state. There is no reset. Call reset to reset the state or use auto reset. So I assume that means that there was supposed to be or originally there was going to be like a trigger, a reset trigger. Trigger. Is it in 3? No. Input trigger resets the trigger accumulation. Try out. Oh, and there's also the trigger filter, but we don't want that. That's randomization on the trigger. Actually, I think it's trigger control. I think we want trigger. Here's what it is. Check this out, y'all. Okay, so what we do is we have, instead of a trigger delay, we have a trigger repeat. Okay? And it's 1 bar. So it triggers every bar. And it goes in here. There we go. This is exactly the logic I was looking for. It triggers in here. It starts closed. And then it triggers the release. And then what we do is on stop also opens the gate, the trigger control. So when we call stop, this should be on play. On play. So when we start playing it, this will attempt to trigger on the bar. It will fail until we say on stop. And then it'll open it up. Perfect. And then what's great about this is we still want our delay. We still want our 1 bar delay. So we'll reuse this value. Because we wanted to let the material sort of continue. But what we can also do is, at the same time, trigger this material, and then boop, and boop. Okay. Let's see. Call on stop. Oh, you know what we need to do? Also, we need to close this gate. So I think, let's see, just double check this. 1. It goes in. You know, this is where we can use the trigger once. There we go. This is our bad boy right here. Because we only want this to happen once. And every other one afterward, we're good. So, there we go. Trigger controls. Okay. We go boop on stop. Yeah? Cool. And then what we want is when this is done playing, we actually want it to call its on finished, so that the actual what's the output on finished, so the whole meta sound is actually done playing. I want to hear that crossover. I want to hear it working. It's funny this. There it is. Nice. And it calls it done. It's done. It's done playing. Okay. Very rad. So now I know what you're saying. You're probably saying, hey, that's actually a lot of work for a horizontal slice system. Yeah, but to be fair, there was no system. We built the system. The horizontal slice system now exists, and it didn't exist before. So it's actually kind of cool how quickly we were able to build a custom music system or implementation. Okay, so now what we'll do is I'm going to actually rename this. We're gonna call this Dorians Run main. We'll just call it main, and then what we'll do is we're gonna have a Dorians Run queue, because what we'll actually do is we'll put this into here. So this is another one. We're gonna make stereo. Boop 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 boop. Go together, and then what we'll do is this. And now, because remember, our high has the exact same functionality as our low. We're just doing a mix, mix gesture on it. So this is sick. This is sick. We've got MetaSounds inside MetaSounds. MetaSounds composed of MetaSounds. It's amazing. Okay, so we need a stereo mixer. And we'll make the top our high segments. So we have intro. Can I just drop? Okay, I can do this, however, and then I can do this, the ending wave, and then the high loop, and then it should just work. Let's see. Nice. And then I forgot to add the on-stop trigger. So let's add that right away. On stop. Trigger, and then we'll just get that in there right off the bat. Right off the bat. Okay, so let's just make sure it works as expected. So let's hear the crossover first. So we'll wait the 8 bars and listen for that crossover. Nice. There it was. Okay, let's call on stop and see how that works. It's working. Very cool. Okay, so now we want there's a couple things that we want to add on to this. We want our 2 different stinger types. We've got a beat-synchronous stinger, so this always has to happen on the beat. I actually have experimented with having it happen on the 8th note, but it tends to work better on the beat. And then it's just because the ostinato is so fast that 8th notes kind of work. But this is sort of something you can experiment with. It's like, how quickly do you want it to react, basically. And then the other thing that we need to implement is our thematic stinger. And the thematic stinger is an interesting case, because what we have are 3 variations of a thematic melody. They're different from each other. And then this one. And so we have high and low versions, like this. And you don't really want to mix and match them. I mean, it might not be bad, but basically when I select, this one, I want this to match with one. So these will be ordered arrays. That'll be very important. And when we select one, we'll want to select the other at the same time. So, something to keep in mind. And then and that's it. And then we're done. We just want to make sure that that these aren't stomping over the intro. So we don't want those to work. We don't want the stingers to work on like the first bar, basically. So those are some catches. All right. Now, so let's implement the beat-synchronous stingers first, because those should be easy. And then we'll have, so let's do stereo mixer 3. So I'll put the main body into the center here. And then, the other thing that we want is a trigger accumulate of 2. So when both of these finish, call on finished, we want to call on finished on this MetaSound. And if we look at our, MetaSound, we need to add the on finished, the one-shot interface. So now we can call the official on finished output. And just as a reminder, what this does is it will communicate to the audio engine that this sound source has completed. And so then the audio engine will know that sound is done playing, and it will clean it up and do all the stuff that you want to do when you're done. When you're a wadimas. Okay. Let's do our random 1-bar deal, because I suspect that's going to be like the easiest one. So we want, as I've already mentioned, we want on play. We want a delay of 1 bar before it starts like working, right? So BPM, and then it's 90 BPMs. We want a whole note delay, and then what we want is our repeat. And we're going to do it just like the one-shot ending that we did. So we want a BPM conversion, and let's do let's do 8th notes. So we'll do 8th notes here. And then, so we're going to try, basically what we're going to try to do is play it every eighth note. And we will add our trigger control. Or actually, I think in this case, we want, actually, we'll just do, no, yeah, sorry, trigger control. But we don't want it to, sorry, trigger control. Oh, we do want it to go trigger in, because then our stinger trigger, so let's add an input, which is our drum stinger. Let's do on drum stinger. Something about on that just screams trigger. Okay, and then that will open the gate. And what we'll do, open the gate, and then we will add a delay of exactly the same amount. Because what's going to happen is this stinger trigger is going to come somewhere in between an eighth note. We don't know exactly when it's going to come in. It's going to come in somewhere between an eighth note. And then what I want is it to then close the gate again. So, yes, yes, we want to close it, and then we'll have our trigger once. And what this will do is I'm going to add another eighth note delay like this. And the reason is this will be the period when you can't play another drum stinger. So basically what will happen is or actually maybe instead of off of this, I can put it on this. So yeah, so here's what will happen is somewhere between an eighth note. Let's clean this up a little bit. An on drum stinger will come in somewhere, and then the next eighth note, boom, it will trigger. This will succeed in traveling out, and it will this closes right as soon as the first trigger goes through. So it will this is where we'll play our stinger, and then a 1/8 note delay will occur, and it will open this back up again for another trigger to come in. And I'm trying to think, if you spam it, they'll all just get stopped by this trigger once until this opens up again. So that should work. Should work. And this will end up closing it not long after the trigger comes in. Less than an eighth note. So, so yeah, I think this will work. It's something that, you could experiment with for it'll take some testing. But now we want an array of our drum stingers. So, because we have 6 of them, and these we could probably just store as a local variable. Drum stingers. As a array of wave assets. And then, sorry, here Boom. And we just drop it on there. Boom. Okay. And then we will get drum stingers. Sorry, get random. And this will select a random drum stinger and then pass it over here. And then we'll have this come down to that first mixer. Okay. So this should work now. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. So let's see. On drums. Oh, we can interrupt it. So this is where, just like the main, we'll want the voices to maybe maybe have 2 wave players. But do we want 2 of these? We could just do this. And it was sequence. I think. And then we can do a stereo mixer. And I'm holding control to move these over there. Okay. Boop. So let's just see how that that plays out. That's not bad. I'm spamming it, you know, so. And the beat synchronicity is working, which is satisfying. Okay, cool. So that sounds like it's working. So now we just need to basically make this same thing, except it's for a much longer and more complex piece of music, right? Theoretically. All right. So let's cheat and copy it. So let's do it down here. We're going to build the other system down here. And I think I'm going to get rid of this for now. And we'll get rid of this because I think we want to make sure that they will not overlap. Yeah. So let's take a look at this longer piece. So this has a 2-beat anacrusis, and then it's 4 bars of music, and then it's tail. So it works better on the back half of the measure, but because the harmonic rhythm of the ostinati are basically beat-wise, right? Right. So I think that it works on any half bar entry point. So let's call our entry point half bar. And then we will do a similar thing where we're going to delay a bar. And then our entry points are going to be half notes. And yeah, and this will close the trigger control, and then we just want this delay time is going to be our duration here. So basically 2 beats and 4 bars. So maybe we just do 5 bars? Let's try it. BPM. And we could do like, because this is 9 half notes, right? So let's try 9 half notes. Just make it the duration of the music, so that another one can come in, even if a tail is coming, and then we will have our alternate. Will we do the alternate? Because we're going to have high and low variations. So let's create our selector. So our selector is going to be, so we need another, let's do high, theme, high, wave asset array, and this will be these 3. And actually, I need them to be in the specific order. So we'll do 0, 1, 2. So we'll go 0, 1, 2. And then we will do theme low, wave asset array, and similarly 0, 1, 2. Because what we're going to do is we will actually we're going to get the number, and then we're going to do a random integer. Between 0 and, hold on a second, the number of elements. So the number of elements is 3. So we want -1. Boom, like that. And then what we'll do is we'll do a well, let's do the regular thing before I do it alternates, and it will be let's theme low, get theme low. We'll do low down here. Let's copy this get and paste it over here. So theme high. And then we're actually just going to get a specific value. So this will trigger this, and we will get. So this basically what we're doing is we're calling a specific index in this array. We're grabbing a specific index in this array. And we should just be able to play. And then let's just add our mixer. And just see if it's working. If this works, then we'll set up the alternator. Let's just double check. So let's just walk through. We have a 1 bar delay, and then we are doing a trigger repeat every half bar. So every half note starting at the bar, and then the half bar, and then bar, and half bar, etc. And then this stinger should be a theme stinger. Sorry, we need a new input, which is, we'll call it on theme play. And it's a trigger, and it'll be on theme play, like that. And right, I also have that delay that I've got to trigger this delay. So it'll open the trigger control, then the next half bar will come through, and then within a half bar afterward, it will close the trigger control so no subsequent triggers can come through. And then when this trigger goes out, it will delay resetting the trigger once after 9 half bars, and then the trigger once will randomly select an integer between 0 and our num value here, which is 3. 3 minus 1, so 2, so it's going to be 0, 1, or 2 that it selects as an index. It selects that index, 0, 1, or 2, from the get wave asset, and then we pass that into the wave player. The wave player plays our values. So it looks like it should work, so let's do this. That was one of those instances where it started on the top of the bar. Like I said, I think it works better if it starts at the second half of the bar, but it still works. The half bar entry still works. Okay, let's try to interrupt it. Long delay? No. I think I got it into a bad state. I think I got it stuck on a closed state. Oh. Not sure. Not sure. So if we wanted it to only happen on the back half, that means that its entry point is only once a measure, and all we would want to do is we'd want to make sure that the first delay, that we offset the first delay by 3 half measures. So it would be something like this, like that, and then that will make sure that the entry point is always on the back half of the bar. I want to try to make sure I've got a good, clear bar signal. Okay. Yep. See, there it is. See, it works better on the back half. But the concern is how long it waits before it, kicks in. Because it can wait as long as a whole bar. But anyways, I think this is pretty good. We've got our drum stingers. Oh, did our drum stingers break? What do we do? Do something? I'm not sure. Could have found a bug. That's working. Oh, that's working. No, that wasn't the drum stream. Did I change anything here? I didn't change anything. So I couldn't find a bug. Let's see. Maybe there's a bug with the multiple triggers. Maybe there's a bug with I don't know. This is, it's a good. I just want to. Oops. Undo. Sorry. Let's see that. Multiple theme. Blah 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 blah. On drum stinger. Opens. The delay closes it. Let me try just the. Oh, there's our problem. Look at this. What happened there? What in the world? Our drum stinger array is just missing. Did I call it variables? I must have accidentally deleted it. I have no idea why that happened. Okay. That was the reason. Okay, we got drum stingers. Yeah, we got drum stingers. And then we've got our themes. Can't cut them off. So coming back. I think my delay might be too long here. Let me just double check this. So we've got our half notes. The beat multiplier is 9. So this should be 9 half notes. And this is 2 beats and then 4 bars. So I would assume, unless yeah, it's definitely 4 bars. So 90 divisions of a whole note, half notes. So 9 half notes. I think that's 9 half notes. 2 beats, and then it's 2s. So it's 2, 4, 8, right? Yeah. So it's just, maybe it's just too long. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. It resets. So this delay is 1 whole bar. So, okay, and then there. So there's the long wait. No, that was fine. You know what I think might be happening? Oh. Ooh. I have a thought. I have a thought in my brain set. What if what's happening is this delay is closing the trigger control. If I start spamming this, it resets this delay. So if I spam it multiple times inside of a bar's duration, then it's failing to close. So let's do, okay, I think I figured it out. So here's what we want instead is a trigger pipe. We haven't used pipes that much. I'm trying to think if there are knock-on effects here. Let me just think it through real quick. So the way that the trigger pipe works is instead of resetting the delay, it just allows multiple triggers to pass through with it's just the trigger's always delayed. So the triggers are never stopped. If I spam this, then this will be spammed. And it'll constantly be closing. So maybe this is not what we want. Maybe what we want... Spam control is a very interesting problem. Because this is what the trigger once is for. It's like hardcore spam control. If I used a trigger once here... I don't have a problem spamming the open, but I don't want it to spam the close. We could try this. This is interesting. Trigger once. And I'm just going to do this. And then the reset is this. This guy always resets it. Does that work? So this will be somewhere in between these triggers. It will attempt to trigger once. It will only get through, it'll get through the first time and close it after the delayed period. And then this will only let this back open when this is already triggered. So I think that will do it. I think that will do it. Try spamming. Okay, did it first time. Just spam it. See how close we can get the next one. I missed something. I missed something in my logic. I missed something. So now I gotta wait a bar. Now. Maybe not. break it? I just break it forever? Is this not, this should be setting it. You know, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe we don't need to, no, we definitely want to. Okay, let's try this. We're gonna try this. I'm going to try going into the delay, and then the delay will go in here. And then this will close it. Because then, if I spam it, this resets. This fails. Until the next bar, this will open back up, and then it'll let it close again. You know, oh. What am I trying to prevent? I'm trying to prevent this from double triggering or multiple triggering. In reality, I don't need to do that because I've got this delay over here. So this is where I am overthinking this problem. What I actually need is this gets opened up. And then, you know what we can do? Oh, here we do. Accumulate. I think this is what I actually need. No, because then this is just because this keeps hitting. This keeps hitting. Oh, here I could do this. Delay. Here. Like that. That I think actually might be better. Because then what's happening is the trigger goes in. And if this hasn't opened it, yeah, because then our delay can actually be very quick. We could do like a 0.1. And that way we're not spamming the close. It will just close itself up after the trigger goes through. Maybe this is just Maybe what I need is just to trigger once. This is probably what I'm trying to do here. What I really want to do is this, probably. And then and then the difference is that we start closed. Danny. Okay. Let's see. Spam. We're fine because that big delay. Alternatively, you know what I could do is I could do 1 and then 4.5 and just see. That's something weird. This delay is freaking me out. That's all. This succeeds. We hit a delay. If it... Oh, it's the same problem. Fucking hell. Because now that I'm spamming reset... This is saturating this trigger delay. Yeah, this is fascinating. Let's see. So what I could do Okay, I got an idea. This is I haven't tried it out, so that's why I didn't think of it. But the reset let's see, this opens it up and then it's ready to go through and then it closes. And the reset is actually going to be, sorry, this delay, but like this. And I'm just going to take this on play. And I'm going to store this as a delayed graph variable. That's an interesting one. So we're going to call this and then what we're going to do is we're going to get delayed theme reset. Now the delayed theme reset is the last buffer. So it's the last buffer from the trigger. This is basically what's replaced sends and receives. And what it does, it's storing this value on one buffer, and then the next buffer, it will get it. It'll get the last stored value. So this should work. So basically what I'm doing is when this starts playing, then I do my delay, and then when the delay is done, it sends the trigger boom to this, and that way I'm not finicking around with this like spamming, because what's going to happen is this is going to prevent the spamming, and this is going to come from basically the other side of this trigger once. So this should work. Okay, we hit it. Just double checking first to make sure that works. And then let's get another one in there. Just, yeah, so I can get them close together. Now let's try spamming. So now I'm spamming it. Aha! That's good. Yes. It's working. Nice. That's clean. That's very clean. I don't even need to do the alternates. Sounds good. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is we need one more variable, one more input type variable. So we want an input that is activity level, and it will be a float value, and then we're going to make it a big old slider, and that's we'll do linear value type, and then basically we're just going to add that to any high mixer. So input, get activity level, and then where else do we've got highs from here? Input, get activity level. So this is something that we can feed in from. Oh, this is the alternates. So that's actually it. So this we should be able to. So there's our low. And then we bring in the highs. So this is something that we can feed in from the game. And then when we add our theme, we've got the low end. Bring in the highs. And we get that nice stack of voicing. And then our drum stingers work. And our ending. And then probably what we'll want to do, this just reminds me, is that we will want to the trigger control. To start open, and then what we're going to do is we're going to basically gate these so that this will close when we go on stop. And we'll copy this and we'll do this down here as well. So there we go. That way we can't cue this while the ending is happening. So we go over the ending, and now we can't trigger any drum stingers. It's all closed off. So there we go. There's our music system. And we got our unfinished, and it's done playing. Cool. All right. Yeah, so this was just, I don't even know how long this took me. Probably longer than I anticipated. But it was fun. It was fun. Hope y'all got something out of it. This is just early access. This is just preview. And there's so much that we want to do for MetaSounds that we haven't even gotten to yet. MetaSounds is going to be like something that grows with Unreal Engine 5. It's gonna be awesome. It's just gonna keep getting better too. All right, thanks for checking this out. All right.